Alright, today's lesson, actually it's night out. You can kind of see it's not as light in here because I don't have the sun shining through the windows in my office here. We're going to do lesson 8, perimeter. Perimeter is simply the distance around an object. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... There it is. Distance around a shape. So make sure you remember that. So last lesson, lesson number 7, I think it was, we talked about length. So a line segment has 2 endpoints. Okay? And so we learned how to measure that distance. Let's say this is a triangle. There's another line segment. And how many line segments are in a triangle? 3 line segments. Okay? So if we are trying to find the perimeter of this triangle, we would measure from this segment to this segment. Then we would, if we wanted to find the whole perimeter, we'd take that, say it was 3 inches, and then we would measure from this endpoint to this endpoint. So we would measure that segment, say that was 4 inches, and then do the same for that. Okay? Let's say that's 4 inches. So if I want to know the perimeter, it's the distance around this triangle, I would take 3 plus 4 plus 4. 3 plus 4 plus 4. I guess I don't need that addition sign. Which would be 11 inches. Alright, a lot of times perimeter is used in everyday language. You'll hear construction workers talk about it. You'll hear maybe soldiers talk about it if they're on a patrol, or even night watchmen if they're if a security company is watching a building. They would walk around the perimeter of the building to make sure everything was okay. Whether it's construction, I'm going to walk around the perimeter of the building to make sure there's no weeds. If you're doing landscaping or something like that, that just means around the outside of a building. So if I said walk around the perimeter of the room, that would mean walk around the outside of the room, all the walls. Okay, so that's how the word perimeter is used in everyday language. So let's go ahead and do a couple practice problems. Oh, and one last thing. This is important. You'll learn area. If you haven't already learned that in 3rd grade, pretty soon we'll be going over area. And when you do a math problem, sometimes it will ask you for the area of an object. Sometimes it'll ask you for the perimeter. Those are 2 different things. Make sure you read the problems, and this goes for any math problem. Make sure you read the math problem and see if they're asking for area or perimeter. A lot of people mix those up because they just see a shape and they do perimeter when it's supposed to be area. Or they'll see a shape and they'll do area when it's supposed to be perimeter. So make sure you pay attention to that. Alright, example number 1. You have a triangle. We want to find the perimeter of this triangle. In order to do that, we have to find the distance around it. So we are given the distance from this endpoint to that endpoint, which is 30 centimeters. And we are given the distance here, which is 20 centimeters. And the distance here is 30. So we're going to add that up. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So the perimeter of this triangle is 80 centimeters. Okay? Before we do example number 2, I want to talk about a couple concepts that you guys probably know, or if you don't know, then we'll review it. This is a square. The reason why I know it's a square is because I am told that all sides are equal. Okay? That means if this side was 7 inches, then this side was 7 inches, and this side is 7 inches, and this side is 7 inches. If this side is 3 centimeters, then this side is 3, and this is 3, and this is 3 centimeters. If this side is X miles, and this side is X miles, and this side is X miles, and this side is X miles. Square has all sides that are equal. So if I am told that this square's perimeter is 20 centimeters, that means that if I add this plus this plus this plus this, it's going to equal 20. And all these have to be equal. So in order to solve this, well, if this was 2, that would be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 8. So we know it's not 2. The length of the sides aren't 2 centimeters. How do I figure this out? An easy way is to take 20 and divide it by the sides, since I know the sides are the same length. So I'm going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And you guys know that 20 divided by 4 is 5. That means that each one of these sides is 5 centimeters long. That way you can take your knowledge of a square and knowledge of perimeter and kind of extrapolate that. Okay, so perimeter is the distance around an object. And so the last problem we did, we kind of used inverse reasoning to extrapolate an answer. So same is true if you have an equilateral triangle. Remember, equilateral, ladder is side, equal is equal. So equilateral triangle means all sides are equal. If we are told that the perimeter of this triangle equals, let's say, 33 inches, we know that all these are equal. So let's take 33 divided by how many sides? Not 4 sides. 33 divided by 1, 2, 3 sides is 11. So this means that each side is 11 inches long. So the perimeter is 33 inches, and then an individual side is 11 inches. This is true for any polygon that has all sides equal. So if you had a hexagon and you knew the perimeter, you would divide it by hexagon is 6. Octagon, and we knew that it was a regular polygon, that means all sides are equal, then that you would divide an octagon by how much? Drumroll, 8. So hopefully that helps you. Alright, and that's pretty much all there is to perimeter at this point in your lives. Just remember, the key word, perimeter, is the distance around an object.